Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King, and today I'm going to be giving you part 2 of What If Naruto Die in Return as an agent of the Shinigami, guys. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, if you're new and this is the first time hearing my voice, don't forget to go ahead and check out the other channels. Yes, I indeed have 4 of them: Anime King, Anime King 2, and Making 3, and Anime Prince, guys, which I post what if on every single day. Yes, you heard that correctly, every single day for you guys to enjoy. Links will be down in the description, so go ahead, check them out, and yeah, enjoy. So without further ado or wasting any more time, what do you say we jump right into this new episode? Begin now, guys. So the last spot we left off, one Naruto Uzumaki was running for his life. In this village that he's lived in, Naruto has had a few friends over the years. One is Hinata Hyuga, the other one is Jiji, Hiruzen Saratobi, the old man at the ramen shop, and his daughter. Those were the only person that Naruto could call friends that were there for him, and Haruka as well. He didn't really have much friends his age except for Hinata, as that girl was always nice to him. As Naruto ran for his life, he ended up getting hit in the leg. An Anfu in a beer mask came out of the crowd as he proceeded to stab Naruto in the stomach. He told Naruto that he has been waiting for this opportunity for his longest time now. His wife was killed, in the Nine Tails attack, and he's rise to the ranks waiting for this perfect moment, and this was it. He brought the weapon down and slit Naruto's throat. Kakashi arrived on the scene just too late, kicking the Anfu in the head as he smashed against a wall and knocked out Cole. The one that remained there looked around, as there was 2 of them, of course. His friend, also a supporter of killing the demon. However, Hiruzen Saratobi arrived, followed by 2 other Anfus. Hiruzen lost it as he saw the dead body of Naruto. He massacred all these people, including Anfu. When Beer got back up, Kakashi wanted to kill him, but Hiruzen said that death was too good for him. As they picked up Naruto's body, though, it crumbled away into dust. Naruto opened his eyes in a strange domain as he saw death. Naruto fought against death. Surprisingly, Naruto was actually not being killed right away. He grabbed onto Death's blade, and the blade was somehow able to correspond with Naruto as Naruto used it. Death was surprised as Naruto got enveloped by a red cloak. However, he called out for help. That is when the real Shinigami showed up. As it turns out that the person that Naruto was fighting, his name was Omen, as he was a hater of the tail beasts. Omen was a part of a special group that the Shinigami had created to help the human world. However, Omen kept his past hatred, and he still has them until this day. As Shinigami gave Naruto the chance to end him, as Naruto brought the sight down and cut him to ribbons, his body turned to dust. It was not Naruto's time to die. Omen had interfered with the debt collector there, someone that would make sure that those who were supposed to die at that time did not, or when their time was changed. However, Omen interfered. Death wanted to send Naruto back, but he made him an offer. As seeing that Omen was dead, he wanted Naruto to become a part of his organization. He will be trained here, of course, for some time, but when he returned back to become a ninja, he will also have the added bonus of watching out for the supernatural world. Those who try to defy death, ghouls, monsters, everything supernatural, it will be Naruto's job to stop them. As he gave him 1 hour to think about it, when he came back, Naruto accepted despite everything that he said. Naruto wanted to do it. So with that, the Shinigami arrived to the office. Hiruzen was startled. However, he quickly put it together that this has something to do with Naruto because Naruto's body had just turned into dust. The Shinigami told Hiruzen everything, as Hiruzen was rather shocked by all of that. As he told him that it will take some years, but Naruto will return before the final exam, and by then, there is no need to test him because he would be ready for anything this world has to throw his way. Hiruzen had no choice but to listen. After all, this was literally death, so he had no choice but to listen. So yeah guys, basically that's what I you guys can switch across the play, check out this health, and also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the other series. Yes, I indeed have 4 channels that I post other series on, so yeah, go ahead, check them out and enjoy guys. So without further ado, wasting more time, what do you say we just jump right into this new episode? Begin now guys. It has been a couple of years since Naruto has been taken. However, our story begins in the Earth Country with a bandit camp. What's the haul this week? A nameless bandit asks. The 2 thugs were guarding the entrance to their cave. A large cave entrance. 2 caravans, he said. Not as much taken as the last time, but we got a consolation prize. And what is that? We got the daughter of an Earth nobleman. He told his partner. She hot, the first one said. Yeah, but the boss said that we can't touch her. Says that we're gonna ransom her back to the old man, he explained. The other bandit frowned, but he shrugged. Well, at least we can make some decent cash. His friend smiled weakly. Oh, but to get better, he said. The boss wants to wait till the nobleman arrives with the money. Then we kill his guards and take the ransom. Then take him hostage and hold him ransom for the Earth Daimyo. After that, the girl is all ours. The first bandit smiled. 2 payday for the price of 1. Let's just hope we get a turn before some of the other guys. They always use them up too quickly and I ain't into dead chicks. I hear you, the second one said agreeing. Unfortunate for them though, they will never indulge in their desires. As a swirl of shadow gathered together, forming someone. Judging by his build, he was male. Over 6 feet tall, obviously muscular but not overly so. He was wearing a black trench coat attached to a hood. His shirt, pants and boots were black. Black fingerless glove. Under his left wrist was a strange, eye-shaped tattoo, though they could not see it because he was facing them. On the back of his coat was a kanji for death, and the words "No Escape" were printed in the color of flames. At the center of his back was the image of 2 sights in a cross position, with a demonic skull in the center. A circle of flames surrounded it. All were bright blood red. However, what worried the 2 men the most was a wicked, curved blade mounted on his forearm. They grabbed their weapons as they tried to look dangerous and fail. Who the hell are? That was all the first bandit could see as he was cut off. In a burst of speed, the hooded man appeared behind them. He swung the blade, as both of their heads were rolling, the rest of their body following as it collapsed down to the ground. The hooded man then turned his gaze towards the cave entrance. Alright, he thought. This is the place. Let's hope that he is here and not out plundering. He shook his head. No, he will be here. Why would he do the work if he has a bunch of thugs out doing the work for him? In a burst of dark energy, the arm blade disappeared as a sight appeared in his hand. Let's get to it then, he thought, as he stepped further in the cave. Meanwhile, inside the cave main tent, the bandit leader sat on a makeshift throne, with several guards guarding him. The man was tall, 6'5", heavily muscled, covered with scars. He was bald and had no facial hair. A large scar ran from his left eye down to his chin. Whatever had created that scar also blinded the eye, as it was pale and the other was brown. Dark pants but no top, showing off his muscular chest. This man was truly an intimidating sight, as he sat on a bone throne. Yes, it was made from bones. His man knew little about him. He appeared with 10 men a few months ago, and he challenged the previous leader of this gang on a one-on-one fight for leadership. He won easily, slaughtering his foe and making his position as leader absolute. Some men fought against his claim to take over. Their bones and their leaders were used to make his throne. Since his arrival, the gang has been doing extremely well. The new boss seemed to know who and when to rob. He always seemed to know and who to let pass. The halt that he had taken in since his takeover had been tripled since they usually take in, as that satisfied the man in the gang. Truly, things for them could not be better. However, that was about to change. The bandit leader was thinking about the gang's next move when he heard a whimper nearby. He looked to see the captive noble daughter. She was locked in a small cage, crying. She was in her late teens. She was beautiful. Long brown hair, green eyes. Quiet, he said. Your whimpering is grating on my ears. Suddenly, clashing could be heard outside. Blade piercing flesh and screaming. One of the 10 that arrived with him looked towards the entrance. Master, he said, his tone sounding worried. At last, one has come, the leader said. Suddenly, a single bandit rushed inside. Boss, we gotta... The man never got to finish. He was impaled from behind by a curved blade. Before he could even gasp in pain, the blade was pulled upwards. It severed him in half. The blade owner then walked inside, holding a spear. The hilt seemed to be made from bones. The blade then swung down, turning the weapon into a sight. The other bandits, minus the 10 that arrived with him, stare at the man in fear. The leader and the other 10 glare at him. You should have stayed in hell, Rezen, the man said. The bandits, minus 10 of them, were confused. Rezen? That wasn't the boss's name. And what did he mean by stay in hell? And you should not have come here, servant of death, the boss said. You should have expected this. No one hides from us. And who said I was hiding? I knew that you will come eventually. I'm only surprised your master was not wise enough to send more of you. One is sufficient. You overestimate your strength, demon, the man said, further confusing the others. The leader growled. It is you that underestimate me. I have killed your kind before, the boss said. No, you haven't. Or you would know if you had. Lying will change nothing here. He then turned towards the girl. Hope. Tear in her eyes as she looked towards him with hope. Is this what Lucifer picked? Due to get their kicks now. Kidnapping defenseless girls. The leader snarled at him. You and your followers have violated the balance by escaping hell, and have committed numerous crimes since then. I am giving you and your followers a single chance to surrender, and return to hell peacefully. And I assure you this, is the only outcome that you survive. The leader rose to his feet, glaring bloody murder at the man. Suddenly, the sounds of bone cracking and breaking engulfed the tent. The leader's skin started to bulge and expand as something large was growing inside of him. His skin then started to rip as something burst out of him. It was tall, a full 9 feet, muscular, dark fur, and dark skin covering its arms and forearms and legs. Its feet were hoofed like those of a horse. It had a human face, with red eyes, no hair, and 2 long, twisted horns protruding from its head. Around its neck it was wearing a collar of chainmail and bones that run down to the top of his chest in length. The chainmail went straight down towards his forearms and his legs. It had a large scimitar in one of his hands that seemed to be made from metal and bone as well. This was a guardian demon, a species that rank high above the lesser demons in hell hierarchy. The other 10 in the room that came with him started to undergo a transformation as well, tearing out of their human skin. They were 7 feet tall, all muscular, hairless, and had scaly, bluish-purple skin, horse-like ears, black eyes, and a mouth full of razor-sharp teeth. They had 2 curved horns on top of their head. A pair of small vestigious wings came from their backs, simple metal armors on their lower bodies, and their legs and forearms as well. They had different weapons, axe, machetes, spears. These were demon soldiers. They serve as the backbone of all of hell, legions. As they started to glare and growl at the hooded warrior, the remaining bandits were nauseous and terrified. The girl was trembling in fear. Rezen spoke. It's your life you should be concerned with, he said. He then raised his hand to the hooded man. Tear the flesh from his bones. The demons roar as they rushed towards him, raising their weapons. He leapt in the air, though as he flew over them he dropped a small pellet. When he hit the ground, smoke swallowed all of them as the demons thrashed around looking for him. The moment he landed, he swung, tearing one of their legs off, crippling the beast. He then used a spear mode of his weapon and tear right through another soldier behind him as it burst right through its neck, through its head. He rolled to the side between 2 oblivious demons as he swung. Heads were removed from shoulders, as he turned and tapped one of them. It turned and swung its axe, decapitating its own friend. As he flipped away as the smoke dissolved. As it showed the dead on the ground near body, it dissolved into a black, gooish thing. It smelled like sulfur. Another one, the legless, crawling on the ground. The remaining soldiers rushed towards him with a roar. However, he moved. He ducked under the first swing as he slammed the spear into one of their chests, before he used an impressive amount of strength to turn the demon and slammed it into another one. He then flipped over the swipe of the axe. He landed right on it before his feet came out and smashed into the face of another demon, cracking its face in. He then stamped down on the axe with tremendous force, causing it to stab in the ground before he ducked. He then reached up and grabbed the chainmail and yanked on it. Before he flipped and jumped, he then yanked it, causing the demon to come towards him as he swung his spear, tearing through its throat. The legless one jumped towards him as he turned. He tilted his body though, as his weapon transformed into the spear, and he drove it right through it. It fell right on top of it. Another one came to him from the back. He simply waited before he tilted his head, as a strange curved blade passed him and slammed into the ground. He then turned and slammed his elbow right in the thing's nose. Taking his spear out, he flipped. As the thing charged, he kicked its leg, as its face burst through the head of his spear, impaling itself. 3 was left as the warrior pulled his coat back and pulled out 3 serrated blades. He threw the first one up in the air as he gripped the other 2. The first demon that rushed toward him swung as he ducked. It looked up towards a knife, which was a big mistake as he plunged the one in his hand in its throat. He then kicked it back as the other demon jumped over it. However, he simply stepped back as the other demon rushed forward. The knife that was thrown in the air impaled right into its skull as it fell. He spun as he slammed his heel right in its face as it slammed into the wall. The last one swung at him as he ducked before he got underneath it and slammed the knife into its stomach. He then rolled away. The thing tried to pull it out, but it could not, as it gripped the knife handle and tried to pull, but it could not pull the knife out. Beep, beep. The hilt of the knife started to beep. Beep, beep. Their eyes widened as they tried to pull it out, but boom! It exploded. Demonic chunks scatter across the room as they dissolve into black smoke, smelling like sulfur. The humans in the room stare in awe at the hooded man's victory. Resent, at the meanwhile, was seething in rage. Looking up, the hooded warrior pulled out his sight and twirled around. Care to surrender now, he asked, grinning behind his hood. Resent roared in rage, shaking the entire cave as he leaped and landed behind the man. The warrior turned and blocked an attack from the bone sword as he slipped underneath and rolled to the side. The bone sword slammed and cracked the ground. Resent jumped away so he wouldn't get slashed in the back as he turned to face the man. He threw his blade out as he aimed another slash. However, the warrior rolled to the side, jumping on the wall as he rushed forward. He jumped as he swung a kick. Resent reached up to grab him, but the warrior used his sight and stabbed it in the ground, stopping his momentum. Now stop. He brought his foot up as he slammed it on the Resent chin, picking him up off the ground. He then raised his leg and slammed it into his chest, kicking him right into his throne. Give up, Resent. This can only end one way, the warrior said. I would sooner bend my knee to the creator than kneel to a worthless flesh bag like you. He then gathered demonic energy and launched a small but extremely powerful ball of hellfire towards his foe. Instead of dodging though, the warrior stood still and held out his hand. Dark release, inhaling maw, he said. To the shock of all, the hellfire was sucked into his outstretched arm. But how did you... Resent was cut off though. Dark release, judgment. The attack was launched back from his hand. Before Resent could even flinch, the attack struck him in the chest and threw him back. He smashed through his throne, smashed through the wall and smashed into the outer wall. Resent groaned in pain as he tried to stand. However, the warrior appeared, his weapon turning into spear mode as he drove it through his chest. No one escaped the reapers, he told the shot demon before he ripped out the blade. Resent reached forward the claw hand before his body went limp as he dissolved. The warrior then turned as he walked inside the tent. The captives and remaining bandits looking at him with fear. He made a cross-shaped hand sign as 5, Identical men appear beside him. Gather their weapons, he said, referring to the demon weapons as they were gathered, placed in the scroll, and the clones poofed away after giving it back to him. One of the bandits tried to speak. Those, the warrior said. Were those not human, he said. No, they were not. They were demons, one guardian demon accompanied by 10 soldier demons to be precise. The guardian possessed the body of a small-time bandit before, forcing his men to surrender their souls to his soldiers, who possessed them. Resin, the guardian, he was a real boss the entire time. The bandits were shocked by this revelation. He's not a problem anymore though. I killed him, and now I'm gonna make sure that you never tell anyone what you saw here today. Whoa, wait! We won't tell anyone. Not a soul. We swear. One of them pleaded. Please. You would spill all of your secrets for a shot of sake and a free night with some whore. In an instant. Besides, you're all a bunch of murderous thugs. If I let you go, you would go back to being just that. And besides, you intend to rape that poor girl. And if there's one thing I don't tolerate, it's rapists. The bandits were now trembling. Please, just let us go. We won't do anything like that again. We promise. That's right. You won't, the warrior said. He turned towards the girl. Cover your ears, close your eyes, and count to 10, he said. She seemed to hesitate, but she did so. With that, she closed her eyes and covered her ears, making sure not to take a chance and look. When she opened her eyes, the warrior stood in front of her cage. She backed up as far as the cage would allow, as much as she could. Shh. It's gonna be alright. I'm not gonna hurt you. After a moment she relaxed somewhat, but her eyes still had a hint of fear in them. I'm going to let you out now. Is that alright? She nodded her head. He grabbed the door to her cage. With a small grunt he ripped it off, threw it across the room. She was shocked by his strength. As she tried to get up, however, her legs wobbled and gave way, but she was caught. She hadn't stand for a few days now. The warrior gently set her down. What's your name? He asked. She waited a moment before she answered. Kiyomi, she said. Pure beauty, he said. Well, it certainly fit. Thank you for rescuing me, she said. You're most welcome, he told her. I probably should have mentioned this earlier, but I saw a large group of samurai wandering around earlier. They're probably looking for you. They will arrive here soon. Her eyes widened. Those must be her father's men. Unfortunately, I can't be here when they arrive, so this is where we part ways. But first, I need to ensure you never tell them or anyone else what happened. Her eyes started to wander in fear as she looked at him. Calm down, he said. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna wipe your memory of what happened here. You can do that, she said. Of course. Just look into my eyes. Wait, she said. Will I remember you? Will I ever see you again, she asked. I'll see you, he said. But you won't see me. His eyes glowed white as she looked into them. Her eyes also glowed white before turning back to normal. She then passed out as he slowly lowered her to the ground. He got to his feet as he heard the sounds of samurais finally arriving to the cave. His body then dissolved into a swirl of shadows as he was gone. He reappeared on top of the cave as the last samurai entered it. As he brought his hand to his ear. Mission complete. Bring me home. And with that his body was distorted and he was gone. The Palace of the Decay, headquarters of the Reaper Corps, in the void. The hooded man reappeared at that location, where several others were talking, preparing, and gathering. A group of hooded figures were aiding the others in their preparation. Welcome back, Reaper Uzumaki, one of the attendants said, in their usual whisper tone. The hooded man then removed his hood, showing a rather handsome face. Deep blue eyes and whiskers on both cheeks and blonde hair. It's good to be back, said Naruto as he left the room to report to his master. Naruto was pronounced dead at the age of 11, and it has been 4 years since then. The years has been kind to him. He was taller now, more muscular, and he lost all of his baby fat. He was no longer a hyperactive, impatient kid. He was now a full-fledged Reaper, an intelligent, calculated slayer of the supernatural. Since joining, he never regretted being a part of the Corps, for even a moment. What death warned him about was true. The training had been brutal, but the end result was worth it. He was stronger, faster, and tougher than ever before. In addition, time passed differently here. In Earth time, he was only gone for 4 years, but here, he's been gone for 8 years. He has served as a member of the Void Corps for 2 years now, that equivalent to 1 Earth year. He has already earned the respect and friendship of most of his fellows. He had yet to learn how to harness the full potential of the power that was given to him, but he was making wonderful progress. But despite having lived into the void for 8 years now, his body was still aging in Earth years, so he was still, technically, 15 years old. Despite having more experience than that, as Naruto was making his way to the throne room where death was, he was interrupted by a regular annoyance that was always in the palace. "Ah, Naruto, you returned. I trust your mission went well." Naruto sighed mentally as he turned. Standing in front of him was a creature. It was unnaturally thin and taller than him by about 2 feet. Demonic face, blue scaly skin, emerald eyes without any pupil, and a mouthful of razor-sharp teeth, 2 large horns grown out of his head, and 2 stunted wings wrapped in bandage on its back. Its arms were thin and had numerous golden bands on them. The arms seemed comical when you looked towards the large, claw hands attached to them. It had no legs, it was just floating above the ground. Around his waist it wore a long flowing cloth, with strange pattern extended downwards. It was wearing a headdress on its head that extended down to its mid-shoulders. The creature's chest was bare except for an eye-shaped medallion that was fused into its chest, right over where the heart would be. Dangling from this medallion was 3 strange hooks. There were some scrolls and trinkets around his waist as well. And bottles. This was Vol'drin, one of the few demons that could walk, well, float, freely through the palace without being slaughtered on sight. "What do you want, Vol'drin?" A false hurt expression appeared on the demon's face as it clutched where its heart was. "How you wound me with your words, young one," it said, in a false sense of pain. "Can't a humble merchant have a single chat with an old friend?" "You don't have friends, Vol'drin. You have customers," said Naruto. Said demon chuckled darkly. "You're right. Well then, on to business." Vol'drin was a merchant by trade, with connections all over all realm, and the Reaper Corps was one of his best clients. He could acquire any items no matter the rarity of it. This was the reason why they kept him around, as he was a wealth of information as well. He was an annoyance but a useful one that was wise enough not to betray them. "I came to collect on the last of the payment you owe me," Vol'drin said, as he floated around Naruto. Gathering the whereabouts on that coven of necromancers was not cheap, you know. Naruto sighed, remembering that he still owed the demon for a mission he completed a while back. "Very well," he said, as he unholstered his sight. He held the sight out in front of him. The eyes on both of the sight sides started to glow green, as the pale green energy started to seep out of it and floated towards Vol'drin. The demon grinned as he opened his mouth wide as he inhaled. After a few seconds, the energy was sucked down inside of him. A garden was in there. It was aged perfectly. While most demons preferred to devour the souls of mortals, Vol'drin had learned how to feed off the soul energy of most creatures, even his own kind. Most of his customers paid in gold or precious gems or rare artifacts, but he accepted soul energy as well, and the Reaper Corps provided this in abundance. Reapers harnessed the energy from all the demons that they slay. Their weapons did. This energy could be used for many purposes, but most of it was used to pay for Vol'drin's services. As Naruto holstered his weapon, "I trust this makes us even," he said. "Oh, yes, it most certainly does. Now I believe our business is concluded. Unless you want to browse my wares," he said. "No thank you," said Naruto. Vol'drin shrugged. "Suit yourself. If you change your mind, you know where to find me." And with that he floated off. "Greedy son of a bitch," said Naruto. As he made his way, he then paused as he remembered the weapons he took from the demons. Better turn this in before meeting the boss. As he turned off to another hallway, at the foundry, the sound of hammer meeting metal could be heard. Steel grinding against something else, as there were a dozen blacksmiths at work. It was a massive room covered with everything that a blacksmith would ever want or need. It was fortunate that all members of the Corps had a great resilience to heat and cold and living humans, otherwise everyone would be dehydrated or overcome with heat stroke. After a few moments, he finally made his way to the Forge Master. He was massive, standing at a good 15 feet tall, as he was covered in ash, heavily muscular. But despite his build, that was not his most outstanding feature. It was his hair and beard. Both were thick and dirty, but they also seemed to be made of fire. Hephaestus, said Naruto, getting the giant attention. So focused on his work, the fourth master jumped, his head slamming into a few tools. Ow, sha! Son of a bitch, he said. His accent was Scottish, as he held his head in pain, as Naruto could not help but laugh. Hephaestus turned as he saw Naruto laughing. Glad you find this so funny, you cheeky bastard, he said. As Naruto controlled himself enough to speak, sorry old man, but you have to admit, it was rather funny to see a god bang his head like that. Former god, Hephaestus said, as his head stopped throbbing. He then looked towards the blonde reaper and smiled, knowing it was all good fun. So what can I do for ya, Blondie? Hephaestus was one of the Olympian gods at one point. He crafted many items and weapons and armors for the legendary status for his fellows on Mount Olympus. Despite his skill, he was treated like an abusive parent who would treat an ugly child, stepchild, and keep them away, locked away. Something that Naruto could relate to. When the Divinity War broke out, Hephaestus decided to stay neutral. And just when the pagan gods were defeated, he was among the few that was spared the creator's wrath. Alone and without a purpose, death approached him and offered him a place in the core, where he could practice his craft in peace and be appreciated and be the head of the smiths. He agreed, and he's been doing this since, a decision that he has not regretted in the slightest. A tick mark appeared on Naruto's head at the nickname Blondie, but he did not retort as he pulled out a scroll. Channel his chakra, poof, as 11 demonic weapons appear. Ah, more material, he said. I tell ya, demon weapons are made in two forms, brilliant or horrible. I mean, look at this thing, he said, holding up the axe. It looked like some hell beast ate it, threw it up, swallowed it again, and then shit it out. I mean, with angel weapons, you at least get a decent weapon, but this, he shook his head. As Naruto simply stood there quietly, Hephaestus could talk about the quality of weapons for hours and hours. Oh well, he said, at least they're good for material. Thanks lad, he told him. Anytime, said Naruto. Well, I gotta go see the boss. Take care, old man. You too, lad. As Naruto left, Naruto made his way towards the throne room. As Naruto walked in to see Death hard at work, he sat on a bone throne that was carved into it. The end of it was two large skulls, and the top there was a demonic skull as well. Currently he was judging the soul of a shade in front of him. Like all shades, it had no defining features, as he was unable to tell who it once was. Death was currently glaring down at it. You have spent your entire life living off the misery of others. To satisfy your greed, you have committed unspeakable atrocities against your fellow man and woman. Murder, thief, rape. And you have the gall to ask me for mercy. To the inferno with you. See your life that you truly live. At these words, a portal opened up under the shade's feet. As it was radiating heat, the screams of the damned could be heard. He fell through it screaming. The portal closed as soon as it opened. What a wasted life, said Death. He then felt a presence as he looked up. Ah, Naruto. Excellent timing. I was just finishing up with the last bandit camp that you slaughtered. I trust that this mean Resen has been dealt with. As Naruto walked as he kneeled. He has, Master. Resen and his followers are trouble. Mankind no longer. Excellent. I knew that you would be up to the task. I am honored to serve, said Naruto. Speaking of serving, said Death. I have something to discuss with you, he told the Blonde Reaper before standing. Walk with me. As Naruto walked with him, they went to the balcony, overlooking the void. It was definitely a void. The canyons, the mountains, they were all a dull grey. A shade of darkness over to one side. Blank, encompassing darkness. You pick a real peach to settle alone in, huh, boss, said Naruto. Humor in his tone. Death shrugged, not minding the formality between him and Naruto. I like the quiet, the scenery, isn't bad either. As the two chuckled a bit at that. Death then broke the silence that was made after that little laugh. It has been 4 human years since you've been here. In that time you have trained and prepared. You have exceeded my expectation for you, and you're a proud member of the Corps. And now, the time has come for you to return to the life you left behind. As Naruto looked towards him, it's finally time, he said. Yes, the genuine placements are coming up in Konoha soon. As Naruto felt excited, he has been waiting for this moment for years now. Finally, he could see his loved ones again. Not only that, but he could also walk the streets of Konoha without fear anymore. When do I leave, he asks. Tomorrow, said Death. The exams are the day after you arrive. Arriving early would get you back acclimatized with the village. As Naruto bowed, I'll go prepare then, he said. Not so fast, said Death. There are a few things I'd like to address. No showing off your power that much, for any meaningless matters. Only show your true power when the situation demands it. As Naruto nodded agreeing. Secondly, when you arrive you will speak to the third, and tell him everything. Everything? Said Naruto. Everything. The core, our purpose, the existence of the supernatural, said Death. Your duty as a Reaper would likely require you to take many leaves of absence from the village. The Hokage will need to know about them, so he will have to know exactly what you will be doing. Leaving the village without consent will try to give those fools on the council the brand you as a missing in. As Naruto nodded, I understand, he said. The old man is gonna have a heart attack when he hears about this. Yes, most likely. However, it will no doubt be entertaining, said Death with a chuckle. He then got serious. Thirdly, when you meet with him, you will have him hand over your inheritance. I will not have my representation on Earth living in a vermin-infused apartment complex. Naruto nodded once again. He had learned about his parents. In the first 2 years of being in the void, his mother was Kushina Uzumaki's father was Minato Namikaze. Naruto was furious at first, but Death had calmed him down, explained why his father did what he did. He told the boy his parents had loved him, and they were looking forward to meet him. It took quite a lot of convincing, a lot. However, Naruto finally forgave his father after some time. And finally, you take, with you, said Death. As Naruto smirked, why? Is she too much for you guys, said Naruto. She gets anxious when you leave on missions. Creator knows what she will do when you go home if you leave her here. And I don't feel like dealing with a rampage through the palace, said Death. As Naruto chuckled, alright, I'll take her with me. It will be good for her to stretch her legs a bit. But won't people ask questions about her, said Naruto. You can tell people she's kind of a summon or animal companion. Inuzakas have their dogs, Abermays have their insects, and you have her, said Death. As Naruto laughed, she's a bit different from most pets though. Death shrugged, deal with it however you wish, but you cannot leave her here. Everyone is already nervous as it is. Alright, whatever you say, boss, said Naruto. And finally, said Death, keep an eye on the advisor known as Danzo Shamura. He's a die-hard patriot, but I suspect that he has dealings with a paranormal source. On a personal side, he hates the third for holding a position that he's been after for decades. His bitterness festers inside him like an infected wound, and I suspect that he will take any opportunity to gain control. Like dealing with demons, said Naruto. Precisely, said Death. Desperation and greed can make man do terrible things, but he has a great amount of influence in Konoha and Fire Country as a whole. If you move against him, he will use this against you. I have seen what lies in his black heart. He holds a desire to conquer all the other nations, and if he becomes Hokage, he will likely cause a war that would consume the earth. Naruto was confused. I thought it wasn't our place to interfere in the affairs of humanity. It is not, but you're going to be a shinobi, and you'll have to protect it from all threats, foreign and domestic. Danzo reign would likely destroy Konoha and everyone you have in it. Something I'm sure you want to avoid. Do you want me to kill him, said Naruto. Only if he has forces with hell or others that seek to do humanity harm. May you kill him in the name of the Force. But if he shows his true colors and commit treason against Konoha, you as a ninja will be free to do whatever you please. But I advise caution. If you attack without proof, he will rally the village against you. My advice is to bring him down when you have sufficient evidence. Even then, be wary, he's more powerful than he appears to be. I understand, master. Wait, what does he look like, said Naruto. Look for the one eye, one arm old man looking at you, like you're a prize to be won. Which reminds me, Danzo controls a private army of shinobis called Root, an organization that was outlawed by the Hokage many years ago. He constantly seeks to bolster his forces and he will see you as a potential recruit. He will likely try to kidnap you and make you become his mindless weapon because you hold Kurama. Who knows what he will do when he finds out what you can actually do. Naruto raised an eyebrow. He would go that far. He already has. He had tried before, but the third stopped him. hoping to give you a proper childhood. I understand. I will exercise the utmost precaution, said Naruto. Was there anything else? No, said Death. You may leave. Prepare for tomorrow. It will be a busy day for you. Meet me at the well tomorrow at noon. I will personally send you off. By your leave then, said Naruto. Time skip. Naruto quarters, a few minutes later. As Naruto's room was nothing really special, as he walked over to his bed and sat down on it. Something wrong, kid. A voice in his mind asks. Normally, hearing voice in one head was a sign of insanity, but Naruto was a special case. No, Kurama. Well, I'm excited about going home, but on the other hand, he trailed off. You worry that your loved ones would think less of you when they hear what you've done, the fox said. Don't get me wrong, I'm proud of being a Reaper, but I've killed so many people. I know they deserve it, but... Kid, listen to me. You're one of the bravest, wisest, and kindest souls I've ever met. Your precious people may be surprised after hearing your exploits, but I know they will never stop caring about you. You, the boy that brought so much light into your life. As Naruto smiled at that. Thanks, Grandma, he said. I'm glad we're partners. Not partners. Friends, said Grandma. As that made Naruto smile even more. At the start of Naruto communicating with Grandma, they were not on friendly terms. When the fox had explained that he was forced to attack the village, and that he was once in prison within his mother, Naruto had found it in his heart to forgive him. As the fox even told Naruto his real name, Kurama. As Naruto was able to change his mind into a vast horse, and turn the cage into a simple color, allowing the fox to run free in his mind. As Naruto's eyes went wide, oh shit, I need to go feed Beatrice, he said, as he rushed down the hall. As the fox chuckled, you better hurry up, boy. You don't want her to smash her way through the palace searching for something to eat. Or someone. Remembering what happened last time he was late to feed his pet, Naruto increased his speed. The next morning, as Naruto woke up, he had a rather pleasant dream. As he couldn't remember, but he did remember the smell of lavender. He heard Kurama laughing in his mind. What's so funny? Oh, nothing. Nothing at all, said Kurama. Deciding to ignore his tenant, Naruto made his way to the mess hall. Just because most of them here did not need to eat, doesn't mean that they did not like to. As Naruto noticed the lack of people. Normally the palace was a very busy place. So this was surprising. As he opened the door to the great hall though. Surprise! He was blasted by. Many people shouted. Almost every member in the corps had gathered. All of them smiling at him. Ephesus was there. Hayu, the inventor, and leader of the market unit. The man that was known as a scribe, who will lead the scholar unit. And Death himself. At last, a deep voice said, the guest of honor has arrived. A very large man, wearing the hood of the corps, hiding his features, stepped forward. Komaru-sensei, said Naruto. Despite not seeing his face, knowing who he is. What's going on? Isn't it obvious? Another one said. We're celebrating you returning back to life. Palana is correct. Another one spoke up. The spirits have declared this day to be a joyous celebration. The Reaper known as Golem lamented. You didn't think that we let you go without a party, did you? A Reaper known as Sierra said. Your journey will be difficult. Before you embark, it's best that you relax amongst friends and colleagues. The calm voice of the Reaper Sharu spoke. I don't know what to say, said Naruto. Nothing need to be said. A woman in a cloak said. Except thank you, perhaps. Sierra rolled her eyes behind her hood. Way to kill the mood, Rias. Rias turned towards her. I failed to see how pointing out the obvious kills the mood. As Naruto looked toward his senseis for the past several years. In any case, said Death, interrupted. Your time with us has been a memorable moment in the corps. Your friends have gathered to wish you well and celebrate your resurrection. Hear, hear, Hephaestus said. Death then spoke again. We have a few hours before you depart. Use them well. To Naruto Uzumaki, Komaru said, holding up a mug of ale. The obnoxious brat who has made us all proud. To Naruto, they all said. Sid Blonde had never been happier as he looked towards the people that has become more than his comrades. They were like his family. Hours later, after the celebration, Naruto was escorted to the well by his master and friends. The well would take the user to any place they desire. No one except for Death knew how it worked. So, said Naruto, this is it. Indeed, said Death, it is finally time. But before you go, I have 2 more gifts to give you. He held out his claw hand as in a swirl of Enche, a scroll appeared. You've done well in learning the first levels of Dark Release. And now I think you're ready to learn the rest of it. As he handed the scroll to Naruto, the Dark Release bloodline was not a part of Naruto family history. The bloodline did not literally exist in his family. He had gained it from Death. Death had created it a long time ago and granted to a clan of humans. By the Reaper, he declared that they would use it for just purposes, which they did. In recent years though, the clan started to die out, the last member being killed by mysterious circumstances. Seeking to reintroduce it, he chose a member of the Uzumaki clan, Naruto Uzumaki, to bear the gift. He had only allowed Naruto to learn the two most basic techniques so far. The inhaling maw, which allowed him to absorb chakra and spells in Naruto's case, even from jutsu right in his palm. And then there was the Dark Release Judgment, releasing the energy that he had absorbed, releasing blue flames to knock back the enemy, or burn them, or send their same attack back at them. Normally, the user need to have a special brand in their palm, but seeing that Naruto got this from Death himself, he didn't need that. Now Naruto was given a chance to learn even more. He couldn't wait. "Thank you, master," he said to bow. "You're welcome. But I have one more gift for you," he said. Another swirl as there was a box that appeared in his hand. "Well, this is from someone else, but I was asked to deliver it to you." Death opened the box, and inside, laid gently in the center, was a cross. But this was no ordinary cross. It was silver in color, with gems inscribed into it. It was covered in strange runes, markings all over, as Naruto could feel the power radiating from it. "This is a powerful relic," said Death, "one of heaven's most cherished treasures. This is a crucifix. It contains limitless divine power, power that comes from within it, from a thorn of the Christ, crown of the thorn. The blood of the Creator flowed through it." Everyone gawked in shock. "Holy shit!" Kumar whispered, "Naruto, you have been chosen to wield it." "Me? Why?" said Naruto. "I do not know. Nor do I know who sent it. It came with a message, telling me to give it to you. The message contained the seal of the archangels." He smiled apparently. "You've made some friends upstairs." As Naruto reached towards it with a trembling hand, he hesitated for a moment before he took it, and held on to it. He felt a strange sense of warmth flow through his body, a sense of peace and love. As he looked towards his master, what kind of power does it possess? "Holy power," said Death. "The light it emits burns all evil creatures and causes unimaginable pain to them. Wicked souls burn at his touch. Fire an energy beam that could only harm evil. But the most powerful ability it possesses is the power to absolve the souls of all their sins. Even the most wicked of souls can be absolved by its holy light." Everyone was even more shocked to release a soul of all of its sins. There was only one person can do that, and that was the Creator. And now Naruto can do it as well. Other powers may reveal themselves in time. The message stated that you can use it however you like, as long as your intentions are good and just. But be warned, you must only use the power of absolve on those who are worthy of redemption. "I understand, master," said Naruto, bowing his head. "The crucifix has also bonded to you the same way Harvest has. None but you can use it." As Naruto looked at it, "How do I use it?" "In time, the crucifix will show you." As Naruto looked towards the relic, "Thank you, master," he said. "And please tell whoever sent this that I will use it wisely." "I will," said Death. A few moments of silence passed before Death spoke up. "Well, it's time for you to go." All of his friends came over to say their farewells. He was patted on the back, he was hugged. As Naruto greeted them the same way they greeted him, happily, as he hugged them back. They all wished him good on his journey. As Naruto turned back to Death, "Thank you for everything, master," he said. "It's been my pleasure. Just remember, no matter what, you will always have a home here," said Death. Naruto nodded as he walked towards the well and looked toward the swirling energy. Naruto turned towards his family as he gave them one last wave before he jumped inside. "The Creator favors you, young one," said Death. Time skip Konoha. As a strange energy started gathering in the alleyway until it spit Naruto out. As Naruto looked around, "Okay, no witnesses," he said, as he unholstered Harvest. "Well, pal, time for you to blend in," said Naruto, the sight quiver in his arm. "Don't give me that. You're gonna scare the shit out of everyone that see you, and we don't want that yet." Harvest relented and he transformed into a scepter, a meter long. with a skull at the top. As Naruto twirled the staff in his hand there. Was that so difficult? Harvest grumbled at that. As Naruto pulled up his hood and stepped out of the alleyway. As Naruto realized he was in the market district close to where he had been killed. It doesn't look like much had been changed, said Kurama. Nope, just a normal peaceful day in sunny Konoha. For now, said Naruto. Yes, just wait until they all realize the demon breath has escaped death and return. As Naruto laughed inwardly at that. Imagine their reactions. Well, said Naruto, time to pay the old man a visit as he made his way towards the tower. But guys, be instant right here. If you want to see next person do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. And also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the other what ifs of the other channels. Yes guys, I indeed have 4 of them. 4 channels that I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. Yes, you heard that correctly. Every single day guys. So go ahead, check them out and enjoy. And remember to turn on the bell notification to see exactly when I post. So without wasting more time or any further ado, what do you say we jump the hell out of here? See you guys soon. Peace guys.